Welcome to Mental Millennials with your host, Shelby Friesen.
Well, I guess today we're back for an episode that's a little bit more relative to today's media explosions of coronavirus and a bunch of other shit that's going on in the world. So we've got our friend Steve and we've got Jaymie back. This is the first one we've ever done with three people. So I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. And yeah, we just wanted to touch on something that was relative. So
I think we should touch on why we brought Steve in today specifically.
He rolls his eyes. We specifically brought Steve in today because
he's a COVID-19 expert.
He is a researcher for some of the coronavirus experts out there. He's been getting really into it lately and knows a lot of the stats and shit. So, yeah, that's what we're going with today. So, yeah, I guess, I don't know where he's, I mean, fuck, like the first thing that I guess everybody fucking knows is all the toilet paper bullshit. Even like I went in there this morning to get groceries and buy like a few supplies because I don't have anything in my house. Like I generally eat lettuce pretty much, so that doesn't last. Like I have nothing in my cupboards, right? Like if you were to go to my dad's house, you could probably eat for 2 weeks just from what's laying around. But I don't have any of that shit. So I went and bought like oatmeal, cans of like beans and whatever else. And people were just looking at me funny. So I was in Lee's Market, and it's not really like, it's not a Walmart. It's very small. So people aren't really going there to prep. Everyone's kind of like, why the fuck is this guy buying all our goddamn oatmeal? So, and then they had no toilet paper and shit either. And like everyone was just looking at me weirdly. And it was like right when they opened and I'm like, fuck. So yeah.
You're like, I'm that guy.
Yeah, I was like, I honestly felt so weird about it. Like I was in there, I'm kind of like, I don't know, man. Like, but fuck you guys. I'm not gonna not fucking eat any goddamn food for 2 weeks. So, yeah.
I heard that Justin Trudeau actually announced today that anybody that's affected by it and needs to be quarantined and stuff, that the Canadian government's going to be covering your mortgage, covering your food costs, and yeah, like all that stuff.
Oh, they are going to do that?
Yeah, apparently.
Because I went to pick up bolts today, and the manager at Fastenal was talking about they did that in Europe. Like they basically, they basically shut the whole place down in Italy there. So they're basically just pushed everybody's mortgage. Like you don't have to worry about paying anything. Just go to fucking bed.
Just stay home and get delivered dry packs of food.
I feel like you'd have to do that.
You think so?
Or else people are going to go to work.
Yeah, true. I mean, yeah, that is like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. I mean, like, what if you're a business owner? Does that affect you differently, I wonder? I don't know. Because it's kind of like, how does your shit stay afloat if you own a goddamn company? If you're just getting paid, you're under insurance.
Yeah, I mean, I think everything would just kind of be put on pause. Like, it's affecting supply chain from everybody, like getting any of their products in, but also affecting like cross-border shipping and logistics. Like all of it's fucked.
Yeah, I mean, well, they haven't shut down the borders and stuff yet.
Not yet, but we've noticed that it's way higher security. Like our packages sending across the border from Canada to the US are getting like ripped open and then repackaged and sent and continued on. So like it seems that it's getting a little bit more strict.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I mean, I've never noticed that with our stuff, but it's definitely gonna be different because yours would be like essentially consumed or will be touching a body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it's definitely like not. It's definitely like a thing that could happen.
Like, like shutting the borders down.
Like shutting borders down completely and like not letting any transit or any kind of like only letting specific supplies through.
Yeah, like I could see them shutting it down for people, but I just wonder about like import, export and stuff like food and other things like that. Mm-hmm. It's like obviously like 80% of our fucking food comes from the States.
I read that they weren't going to shut it down. They said that when the product's in transport, it's unlikely the COVID virus could survive the change in environment.
Oh, while it's moving.
Mm-hmm. At least for like stuff like people were afraid of stuff coming from China, getting here and being infected, but they said it's unlikely it would survive that trip.
Okay.
But from the US to Canada, it's a short trip, similar climate, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I kind of figured too. Like, yeah, okay, from China, you're like a month or so, unless although like people always think that too, but like, what about fucking air freight? It's one day
We air freight everything, and it's like it's
from
like,
China.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people always call it takes so long to be. I'm like, no, bro. Like, it literally could get it in fucking 10 hours.
Yeah, I mean it's 10 hours from. I mean, generally they say like 5 to 7 day shipping, but from the time it leaves China to gets here is like 1 day.
It probably. I mean, that's a bit of that's some climate change too, going up in the air and coming down. But still, I mean, you never know.
Yeah, it gets cold in those freight, like the carriers, but they could also quarantine the products when they get here.
Oh, that's true. They have to
quarantine
let
or
it
something.
sit for a while.
Which is we've actually considered doing that, but then like, what do you do? I don't know if we have enough warehouse space. What do you do? Like, make a fucking plastic bubble and put all your stuff inside of it and just say, "Don't touch that."
Dude, you
for a
can
week.
buy those little domes. They're like, people buy them for camping and shit. It's just like a giant blow up dome, and you can just chill in it. You just throw all your
I
shit
think
in
I
there.
might chill in it. I'm gonna get one of those and just walk around the streets in it.
We'll just fill around the backyard with fucking domes and shit.
I'll have like little hand holes where you stick your hand out and just grab shit off the shelf.
Oh my god, like full suits.
Yeah. So I guess one of the major questions would be whether, I don't know, I guess whether it's justified, like whether all the pandemic related like language going around and all that, and people talking about like a big one is comparing it to the flu kind of thing, and like why would we be freaking out about the flu going around, and if that's something that we should even be freaking out about or talking about.
Yeah.
A lot of people say like, oh, the flu kills more people annually than the corona or COVID-19 is right now. But that's because no one really cares about the flu. It has a 0.1% mortality rate. So would the governments put in these measures to stop the flu from going around over 0.1%? Probably not.
Yeah.
But if this virus did affect as many people as the flu did, even at 3.4 or 5%, that's millions of people.
Yeah, and also I think a big factor that people are missing or not taking into account, because I've seen like a bunch of videos of doctors coming onto news stations and being like, it's literally a flu, blah, 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 which to some degree, like I agree with, like I'm not really afraid of getting it, but the spread rate is something that they're not really taking into account in a lot of the conversations I'm hearing. Just kind of like spreads way faster than the flu.
Because the coronavirus is different than a flu, right? Like the swine flu back in, when was that,
I forgot about that. We were
2007 or
live for
something?
that shit, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I don't even remember.
It was like related to birds, wasn't it?
swine.
I thought it was carried by birds or some
Swine's a
shit.
pig, I think.
Same shit. Literally, flying pig. Whatever.
No, I think it was grade 7 or 9 we were in, because I remember I went to Korea during like the midst of swine flu and got like tested and shit in Korea.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But
So what is the difference between...
I just know that this one is a respiratory illness. Like the coronavirus targets your throat and then lungs, but a flu is more, I don't know.
Just like your...
It said symptoms are the same, but I read that the coronavirus is not a flu. Flu is not a coronavirus, but you could experience flu-like symptoms from the coronavirus.
Yeah, but a flu is not specifically attacking you, trying to give you like, what's it called? Pneumonia and shit.
Right, it doesn't target your lungs per se.
Yeah. So the flu actually, or not the flu, a coronavirus actually targets something.
This one does, COVID-19 at least.
Yeah.
Is like, at least I watched a video that said COVID-19 will target your throat, and it's something. It was a high statistic, like 90% of people will end up defeating the COVID virus at the throat stage before it even gets down into the lungs. Then once it hits the lungs is when it will cause fluid to build up, and then that will be when you have pneumonia. And then if your body reacts poorly, it'll produce massive amount of white blood cells, and that will cause your lungs to fill up even more, and then that's when you could possibly die.
I just think like, you know, all the fucking, I just think like all the shit they're telling you to do, I just find funny. It's like, oh, like drink water, like wash your hands, do this shit. It's like, people just don't fucking do that. And I forget like actually how little people even drink water. Like that's pretty much all I drink, and a lot of it all the time. But like people will go all day and not drink water for fucking 11 hours while they're at work, and then come home and smash a beer. I'm
guilty for not drinking water.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, like I drink so much and all the time, like probably every half an hour I have a sip of water. So I'm just kind of used to that stuff. But I also think like the way that it kills people and shit, it's like, man, like most people are just feeding themselves junk all the time. So your body is like all the time just getting rid of the toxins you're constantly putting in it. You're just eating shit, drinking beer, doing all that stuff. Your body is just spending all its energy to clear that out and like help you not just die from the general shit you put in yourself. Whereas like if you were to eat healthier and like a proper diet and drink water and do these things, it's probably very easy for you to fight it off. I don't know if it would even matter what age you were. I mean, obviously the older people, it's still harder, but I mean, man, some old people are pretty goddamn healthy. I've seen 60-year-olds that are in better shape than I am.
Yeah, no, I would totally agree. I think the funny part about that is that if they start quarantining people, which obviously they're doing, not here yet, but they're, I mean, kind of here, but like not really seriously. Around the world they are, though. If you start quarantining people like that, and then people are buying up all the food supply and shit, where's your fresh vegetables coming from? Nobody's really getting any real healthy food. They're eating like canned shit. Mm-hmm. That's just, so then it just makes it even worse. If you have it, like lower chances of being able to fight it off because you wouldn't have the necessary like healthy food to put in your system.
No, yeah, I agree 100%. I like that would honestly, my worst fear of it would be getting like quarantined or in the hospital. I would fucking run out of there. I wouldn't stay in the fucking hospital. Like, what are you gonna do? Smash me full of these shit ass drugs you don't even know if they work? Like, I'll just come home and drink goddamn orange juice every day and like, yeah, I don't know, take the chance.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's a big part of it is that right now, like people are saying that, oh, like the mortality rate or what is it? Is it mortality or fatality?
Mortality rate.
Okay, so the mortality rate is super low and saying all this stuff, but that's at current hospital conditions. And in China, the mortality rate's much higher, but that's because it's spreading, and we're only months away from that being a reality in North America and throughout Europe. Already, obviously, Italy and parts of Europe are already overthrown, but yeah, like it's basically, it'll surpass the point where then the hospital won't be able to help you because there's too many people. Mm-hmm. And then at that point, then that's when the mortality rate continues to rise and rise and rise. And all of a sudden you thought it was 0.2% and now all of a sudden it's 3%. And then for, 60 plus, it's 25% or something. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
And everything so far has been done in a first world country. Imagine if this happened in an underdeveloped country, shitty medical, like mortality rate would go probably double.
Mm-hmm. Well, isn't Iran? Is Iran count as a first world country? Because it isn't pretty fucked up there.
I don't know. Like, I honestly feel like some of those third world countries would stand a better chance. Like, I almost feel like, I don't know, there's less movement, people going around, all that shit. It's like, I mean, it take a fucking while for it to get there.
They're dense usually.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it just depends. I don't know.
And like, yeah, the sanitation might not be as good.
No.
Just unless you're like a village in Africa.
Yeah.
And you're just self-contained.
Yeah, I think I might go there.
I think we should.
They just kill you on the spot.
The virus or the people?
They would kill you.
Runs from like a 0.2% chance of death right into like a 30% chance just because you're fucking idiots.
No, man. I'm like, this is the place you gotta be, man. What the hell do I want to know about it? Oh, the different strains. You guys were talking about different strains for a while.
Like it mutated in China, in Wuhan.
Wuhan. That's what we're calling this, the Wuhan special.
Yeah.
Yeah, it started off as a less aggressive strain, and then it shifted and mutated at the start of right when the Wuhan spiked. They found that the virus had mutated into a different strain. It was a lot more aggressive. But since they seem to have like contained that strain mostly in Wuhan, and now it's come down, and the strain that they're finding is the less aggressive one. So worldwide, yeah. Oh,
okay, yeah. So the less aggressive one is not, or it's here, but the aggressive one is not.
Yeah, even in China now, the aggressive one has died out.
Oh, okay.
Like not died out, but the percentage of it is a lot lower. Before it was the popular one, now it's not.
I think that's like, I mean, I want to say cool, but also scary. I say cool because I kind of want the whole pandemic to happen because it'd be fucking fun and awesome. But I just feel like it would. I feel like that's kind of cool to know that. I mean, or scary, whatever you want to put it, to know that it can mutate. Because if it did mutate in any country that it got really bad in or something, I don't know if do you think that the density, because it was so dense in China, is that the reason that it mutated, or could it literally mutate at any time for any reason?
I don't know.
I would assume that potentially any time for any reason.
100%. Yeah, why wouldn't it be able to?
I'm guessing that given the dense population that was infected, it just increased the probability of mutation.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I guess it would just be based on the environment and stuff for it too. You never know.
Which I wonder about, because they said about something about hot climates having I don't know, it being
killing it.
So I was wondering about that too, because I heard it can't survive in something like 26 degrees or higher. But I'm assuming that's on a surface. If I coughed and then touched it and it's hot out, I bet you the lifetime of that virus on the surface is just less than somewhere that's colder.
We still got a long time before it's 26 degrees out here.
I was gonna say, does it thrive better in colder environments?
I'm not sure.
Because if it did, then we live in fucking Canada. It's way hotter here way colder here, than it is in China. And also, I'm curious, if the heat that people are saying oh, summer's gonna come and spring is gonna come and then the sun's gonna come out and then it's gonna get warm and it's gonna be gone. And I'm just really?
The sun's gonna save the world, dude.
Yeah, it's just because dude, China's a super humid, warm place. Compared to here, at least even in this season. So what the fuck? If their heat's not killing it right now, then our summer heat probably isn't gonna fucking kill it.
No, I wouldn't bet on it. That's for sure. I'm not gonna rely on the sun to save my fucking life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be too long. I don't really. I don't know what's gonna happen with it. I'm just curious to see what happens over the next couple of weeks. It's all blowing up so fast. And right now, I saw some posts today about they're sending some potential vaccinations or something somewhere, but I don't know.
Well, they just found I think they were able to, I don't know how exactly their vaccine works, but they're able to reproduce a particle of the COVID-19, something like that. They said that's the first step into getting a vaccine, and they're putting that forward for human testing. But I also
nice. Let me try that.
I also read even if they found a vaccine, so they said, what they say, human testing for summer. I think they try to get testing done by summer, but then to produce enough vaccines to vaccinate the world would take a long time just to get all those out. Production and distribution.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think I believe in that shit either. even the fucking flu shots and shit. I don't know. I almost forget those are a thing, but people literally get those.
Yeah, I don't know if I even have one.
I don't if you've ever had one.
Yeah, I don't know, because it almost killed mom.
Oh, really?
There was some kind of vaccination, that almost killed mom because of blood type or something, she said. So then when we were kids, I'm not sure if she there was certain shots that you and I have never gotten.
Yeah, I remember we used to skip them all. Not all of them, but you get the Hep ones and whatever else, fucking AIDS and shit, whatever they give you. And then we would but we would always miss the flu one. People man, you can get sick. I'm fucking look at me now, buddy. I'm fucking sick. I'm 27, bitch. Yeah.
Oh wow. Made it a third of the way through your life already. Yeah. Killing it.
I haven't had the flu in years, dude.
Or AIDS.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, literally.
That's coming for sure for this guy.
Yeah. Wow. Fuck. Honestly, it'll be that. Those stories where you have sex for the first time in 3 years and then you get fucking AIDS. I'm just sick. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one thing that I think would be cool to explain is, personally, I think the human mind generally has a tough time understanding and comprehending compounding versus linear growth. How it actually spreads and the equations behind it. I don't know. You sent me a video on that this morning.
The exponential growth versus linear growth.
Yeah, I think that people just don't understand what exponential means, and also taking into account the 1 to 2 week lag time and that kind of thing.
It's because it's very hard to imagine that. Even seeing the chart, you don't think that is physically possible to grow from 1,000 people to 100 million in 60 days or something.
Yeah.
But that's what does this have, a 2-week time period before you could see symptoms. That's 2 weeks you're walking around possibly spreading the coronavirus to people that don't have it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
those people are continuing to do the same. Like the number of people to get infected is dependent upon the people that are infected. That's the exponential part. So the bigger one side gets, the side on the other side is growing equally as fast, well, faster.
Well, really, almost the exponential factor comes from the fact of the lag time.
Lag time.
A little bit.
A little. I was just thinking that. I was wondering, would it be scarier if you touched someone or something and they got symptoms within the day? Or is it scarier that it's a 2-week lag?
No, I think it's scary that it's a 2-week lag.
Yeah.
Because they knew right away they'd be fucked up and like basically.
I think it would cause more panic if it was a 24-hour.
Yeah, but it would have already. But think about how more advanced it would be. Like if people got it every day, then like we would have been where we are now like months ago. Or I don't know when this came out. I don't even remember when.
I think the lag time just allows it to spread faster.
No, 100%. That's what I mean. Like maybe not where we are now, but like where we are now in like sense of like locking down and like really.
Oh, in sense of the
like
measures that they're putting in.
Yeah, like you would have been like, okay, holy shit, this is actually a thing. Like within 3 weeks, whereas now like they Dilly fucked around for 2 weeks, and then like, oh shit, now it's 10 times as bad, and then another 2 weeks, now it's 100 times. They're like, holy shit.
Yeah, it would have never left Wuhan if it was 24 hours, probably.
Just the name, man.
I love that name. Would have never left Wuhan. I think after this is all over, we need to take a trip to fucking Wuhan.
Fuck yeah, Wuhan.
They'll probably pay you to fly there.
You will?
Oh, they probably will. But
Yeah. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'll go there in an astronaut suit. Just walk around and see that place.
They're all just staring at you. We're just like a couple of Canadians cruising the streets of Wuhan.
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know the math behind the exponential growth, or I don't even know the stats behind how fast it has grown.
Well, Steve, yeah, what did the guy in the video say roughly?
So it was there was like 2 factors. So you take the number of people that are infected,
And by the way, I think it's important to note that it wasn't some weird conspiracy video. It was literally a math teacher just going through, wasn't it?
with actual COVID-19 numbers. I think
He used actuals in his graph and then continued to plot the line
a
after
projection
that.
graph.
Yeah, using existing actuals.
Yeah.
And he's not even taking into account the unknown cases. Those are all like measured, like reported cases.
And a constant mortality, or like constant rates, like nothing changed.
Which, if anything, it would increase.
Probably, yeah, it would increase. But it was like number of infected people. So the exponential growth is number of infected people multiplied by some factor. And then his number ended up being about 1.15 to 1.25.
It's not even that big.
Yeah, but then you do that every day, right?
Yeah.
And then the number that it's multiplying by, like, call it N,
it's
is the
growing
number
too.
of people that are infected. That's what's growing. So then it was the 2 variables were the number of people that an infected person comes in contact with times the probability of those people to be infected. So to bring this exponential growth down, you'd have to limit those 2. That's why they say if you feel sick at all, self-isolate so that you're not even contributing to that factor of exposing uninfected people. The probability one is hard and you can't really control that.
No.
But being around other people, that's the one that you can control.
What was the number that he came up with though? Like with the days and the amount of people.
If you have your phone, fucking pull it out. Mine's right here. We're just like we're not allowed to touch our phones.
But then he talked about like the inflection point, like at what, like, because an exponential graph, it can't just continue growing forever, right? There is a point where it will stop, like go from increasing to decreasing, right? It's called the inflection point. And then I forget the name of the actual graph it makes, but you're looking for you take the ratio of the day, like today's day, like the number of infected, like new cases from today, and compare it to the new cases the day before. And once those numbers start to decrease, like they talked about it a lot in Wuhan when when the number of new cases were decreasing. If it's just one day, it doesn't mean anything. But if it's continuously happening, it means you probably hit that inflection point. So now you're going to top off, and from that inflection point, you can expect twice as many. Like say there's 50 million people infected at the inflection point. Before the inflection point, like before it stops to grow, you can double that. So at about 100 million people is when the graph will flatten out. So the inflection point just means it's decreasing. You can still expect to double the amount of cases before you start to flatten.
Yeah. But then you're still at a steady.
Sorry?
Then you're at a steady, or that for
Yeah,
a
you're at a
while. It's
plateau for a
it's
while.
not declining even then.
Yeah, and then you're just at your graph just flattens out. Yeah.
And yeah, so looking here, these are recorded COVID-19 cases outside of China. So it's like just Europe, North America.
Oh, not even
everything else,
China.
not including China. So not including China, there's been 21,400 recorded cases. And that's from January 22nd to March 6th. And you can see, well, we can throw this up here, but you can see that the curve is like super, super fast.
Oh,
So
yeah,
the curve
yeah.
is basically like nothing all the way until about February 23rd. And then from then, it just basically goes straight up because that's the J curve. And that's just until that's just known cases. And then he goes through and actually predicts using those numbers what it would be like. I'll find the numbers, but it was something like, I don't even, like 100, what was it? Like 100, was it 100 million people in 60 days?
I think you said 62 or something.
62 days. It was like 100 million people would be infected.
And from the 20,000.
From the 20,000 outside of mainland China.
I think it was sometime in April. Sometime in April would be like you're hitting the 100 million mark.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So like really fast, because that video that he did the math like the last week kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
he just copied what's already been done and projected.
yeah. So using real stats, which is crazy growth rate to think that so right now they think that there's not really that many cases or whatever, but then if you lay that all out, 100 million people because it's only been around for 3 months. So in 3 months, there's been 20,000 cases outside of mainland China, and 2 more months it'll be at 100 million, which is that's fucking crazy.
What was crazy is he showed that at 100 million, he's using the variable, the exponential value that he's using was, I think 1.15 to 1.25. But he said if you could bring that down, he was doing 1.15, I think, to be conservative. He said if you bring that down by a factor of 3, so you're at 1.05, it doesn't affect the number, and it doesn't only reduce by a factor of 3. It actually went from 100 million down to only 450,000 people infected. So if you could successfully get everyone to quarantine and isolate, you could bring that number. So instead of infecting 100 million in 2 months, you could only infect 450,000. If you could control that exponential growth.
Which is massive difference.
Huge.
Yeah, that is
That's
big.
0.5%. Isn't it? Because a million to 100 million is 1%.
0.01. Or it was 10. 0.1%, yeah. What'd you say?
0.5%, or no,
No, because he's 0.15, now he'd be at 0.5, so 0.1. I don't fucking know.
I think you're right.
Yeah, because it's like 100 million.
Oh,
and
you're
I'm
talking about the overall.
bringing it down. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
So
Yeah. So you're dropping it.
So by quarantining people, you could potentially be at 0.5% of the potential.
Oh, yeah,
that it could have
yeah.
if you didn't quarantine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just pretty fucking crazy
Pretty substantial
number.
yeah.
And if it did hit that, then I think importantly is also the mortality rate of it. Like we were talking about, once hospitals get overloaded, those mortality rates will actually grow because people are just gonna be sitting at home with no help. And I mean, again, I'm not worried about us, but dude, anyone 60 plus,
Dead.
they would be sitting at home with a 20% chance of dying or something. Well, that's fucking crazy high, and having no medical help. That's fucking nuts.
I did read an article that said 1 in 5 people will need serious medical attention. It didn't say age group, so I'm not, but it said on a generic level, 1 in 5 people. Doesn't mean they're going to die, but they need to go to a hospital and get treated for their lungs, because it's made it to their lungs and they're fighting.
Oh, if they make it that far. I was just like, what the fuck are they even doing in there?
In the hospital?
Yeah, I wonder what their actual procedure is for it. I'd like to know.
Oxygen and respirators, I think.
Yeah, but to try and clear your lungs, they're they just pump you full of air and probably give you some don't even know.
Even the antibiotics don't do anything. There's some like I forget the name, but it was like antiviral. It's like an antibiotic for viruses, but they said even that, because it's a novel coronavirus, like it's new, they don't have anything that has been showing any immediate effect. So that's why a lot of people that get to that point end up dying, like the seniors.
Yeah, there's just nothing there. See, I just always wondered what the best approach to it is to take. It's like, man, let's go home and eat some Chinese herbs and like. Might be
Honestly,
better.
yeah. I mean, that's probably going to be most people's only choice, really.
Yeah.
Dude, like our hospital systems are already at 120% capacity before any kind of pandemic
Anything.
hits.
Oh yeah, like because I spent quite a bit of time in there just before Christmas, and like it was fucking packed. Like I'm in the general emergency, and like people's beds are everywhere, and that's just a normal day. Like there was nothing going on. So I'm sure even now it's crazy.
Well, they're gonna be doing drive-through testing. You hear about that?
No.
Yeah.
Should we go?
Seriously, the Ontario's been talking about it, and then Trump has in the States said that they're going to be opening them up too. So you'll actually just drive through.
And how do they do the test? Do you know?
I think it's just I don't know the actual test.
You probably just breathe onto something. I bet where
I think
it's
they
like
do your temperature
or a swab or something.
Yeah, that some type of swab. But you just drive through like Starbucks, roll down your window, some guy in a suit does it, and then tests you.
Dude, this is fucked.
Then you just drive home.
They're just gonna have
Like,
roadblocks
what?
set up
Yeah,
everywhere.
they're like, you have corona, turn around. I'm like, no, bro. Like, I'll be running from people. Like, there's no fucking way. Like, honestly, my only fear with this shit is that someone tries to bring me to the goddamn hospital. Or like, you know what I mean? Or like, I don't know, imagine if a roadblock, like, yeah, you have to come with us. I'm like, dude, fuck no. No, I didn't mean to say robot. I think you heard me wrong. Idiots. No, like imagine I meant roadblock. Like imagine you hit it, like imagine if they actually did that, or it's like you go through the drive-thru and you're tested positive, I'd just fucking open the door and sprint. I'm like, dude, I'm out of here. Like, you're not taking me anywhere. I'm going home.
Just start ripping their masks off and coughing on them.
Yeah.
I just like really don't believe that I would survive in the hospital. I don't really.
Oh yeah, I think. I don't know. From my perspective, that's the last fucking place I'd want to be. That's where you're gonna get it.
Yeah. That's the other thing. It's like, or like how they're. Well, they're only self-quarantining now coming in on flights, but imagine if they had a quarantine like in the airport or something where you had to stay. Holy fuck.
Well, they have done that in the States where they like put you into a base or like make you stay on the ship like they've done.
They did that in Canada too. The cruise ship members, they had to spend 14 days on a military base.
Yeah.
Mandatory.
Okay. Wow.
But yeah, cruise ships have been bad.
Because like I don't get the self-regulation side of it, because it's like, dude, who in the fucking right mind is actually going to go actually do that and take it super seriously?
Like, just stay at home.
Like, most people are not going to take it that seriously, and they're still going to go out and do shit. So self-quarantining's, I mean,
I'm just still so on the fence about it all. Like, even this weekend, like, we want to go do a snowshoe hike on Sunday morning, and then was it like go mountain biking, and next week like trying to plan like, you know, go for a trail run or something in North Van one morning, and I'm kind of just like, should I do that? Like, you know, it's just kind of weird. It's like, I never really thought like, man, should I like just not leave my house? Like,
I personally don't give a shit because I'm young and we're not going to die even if we get it.
And I'm also like, the places I'm going are kind of like, I'm going to a mountain and getting onto my fucking car and hiking into the bush. It's not like...
You're not going to a mall or a movie or something.
Yeah, I'm not going downtown for a piss up and there's like 50,000 people around. It's
all, yeah, like, bumping each other, coughing each other's faces.
I'd say if you're doing those activities, you'd probably be fine. Just be diligent, like do all the shit.
I'll give you some of the hand sanitizer we're making.
Fuck. Well, the thing I read somewhere, or... I forget. Someone told me, I don't know. I saw some shit. There's someone was like, dude, a hand sanitizer does not even kill this shit. And I was like,
yeah,
okay.
Apparently it does like a little bit, but it's just not as effective as actually washing your hands.
I heard it has to be like 60 to 80% alcohol.
Yeah, it has to be high percentage stuff. Yeah.
Dwayne was saying like 70% or more.
But what's normal hand sanitizer? Probably
just buy a bottle of vodka, dude.
That's what I was saying. I was like, just get some whiskey.
Would that work?
No, it's too low.
40%.
It's only 40%, dude.
Oh, use more of it.
Yeah. Just get rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't know what percent that is.
99.9.
Oh.
But your hands would be drier than...
Oh, dude. Well, that's what Hannah used to make the hand sanitizer, I think. I'm fucking sanitized, bro. I'm good.
Well, now I have corona.
I'm good. Yeah, I mean, the thing I'm curious to see is what happens with all the like travel and like, well, they've already shut down so much stuff, but like, I just wonder how much they're gonna shut down like within like our like society, you know? Like, there's.
I hope it all gets shut down.
I think they should, honestly, like as a preventative measure. Like if right now it's not bad and people don't seem to think it's bad, but why wait till it gets really bad and then try to shut down shit?
Well, like, I mean, I think it's like, I mean, we're obviously kind of serious, kind of laughing and whatever, but I think, I just think that the average person that's kind of like blowing it off doesn't really understand. Like, a lot of people don't really understand how the world works and the trade system and importing and exporting and where things go. Like, they just have no fucking clue. They
just think they walk to the store and buy shit, and they don't understand
they
that
just,
all these implications there could be no more anything left in stores
in like one day.
Yeah.
And like, you know, they're just driving around and living this la-di-da life that's like, okay, whatever, that's cool as long as everything around you fucking works. But as soon as it doesn't, they're fucked. And it's just like, even not basic shit, but like Wi-Fi or power or whatever. Yeah, okay, those things are there, but there's a lot of people that have to work to make sure that the internet is always working and not crashing, or cell phone places and all that kind of stuff. And hydro, like, you know, okay, if everybody has to quit and they shut down everything, like, nobody's there. What if something breaks?
There's going to be sectors that would just start going off grid, and then they wouldn't.
And it's just kind of like, but people, you know, I think they have this idea that like, internet's there, that's okay, it'll always be there. Like, no, bro, it doesn't just like work like that. So, you know, like, the crazy thing is, like, in 1 week, all that stuff could be gone probably, like, in a worst case scenario. And I mean, I don't really care. Like, it'd be like, okay, whatever, cool, I've got some food, we'll just go do some fun shit while there's no power. But a lot of people are kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Or just fully not prepared. And I think the food thing too.
I think the food thing's big.
Because, yeah, like,
it's all about toilet paper.
That's what I just find, dude, I actually don't get that. It's like, why that out of everything? Like, you think that like, today when I was at Lee's Market, there's no toilet paper, but there's like, it looked like the can shelves haven't been touched.
I should have just got a tenant update about COVID-19, like, to my whole building. They're like sending us emails and shit.
Oh, it's actually insane how many emails I've got. But yeah, the toilet paper thing doesn't really make sense to me. I'm like, what? Like, you're that scared to not be able to wipe your ass? Like, you don't want to fucking eat?
I don't even understand that. Like, I would
like,
straight wipe my ass with my fucking hand, or like, I don't know, go in the shower.
That's what I was saying. I'll just spray my asshole off in the shower in the sink. I don't even give a fuck.
Like, half the world uses water to wash their ass as bidets. So like,
the people in Europe are probably just laughing. Like, what the fuck are these idiots doing?
It's just North America that's shitting about toilet paper.
Yeah, it makes no goddamn sense. But yeah, the food thing, I think, like, there's not, like, all of it comes from out of country, most of it. I mean, there is some local stuff, but not many places even sell it. Like, yeah, okay, Lee's Market sells a lot of local shit. Safeway fucking doesn't. It's all imported junk. So, I don't know. And, like, especially, like, you talked about that text yesterday, Jamie, about maybe, like, people being told to get 3 months supply of food.
So yeah, I don't even know. I mean, so basically one of our friends.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's real. I'm just saying it's a rumor that's out there.
Yeah, I'll just like say it. So basically one of our friends said that they got briefed, and and he's a firefighter, and said that the government or something was going to come out and basically shut down like gyms, community centers, schools probably, and then also tell the population that they should get 3 months supply of food, essentially. And then today I heard that the whole thing about Trudeau is going to announce some kind of big plan. They're going to announce the plan on Tuesday.
The fucking plan, man.
So I'm guessing that that's what the plan is going to be. But I'm really curious to see how they announce the 3 month supply of food thing, because dude, there's not enough food.
That's a lot of food.
Dude.
Fuck. Like, I went and spent 300. Okay, so this is another factor about the food is like, who the fuck can afford that? I always kind of forget, and I'm like, I went to the I've spent $500 at the grocery store in the past 2 days. I'm like, one for a normal shopping trip, and then two to like, and I didn't get much. I got 5 bags worth of shit. Like, that'd be two. I'd be surprised if that lasted me 2 weeks. So like, what kind of, and depending, like, that's just me. If you're an average family, you're living paycheck to paycheck, and you have 2 kids and 2 of you, you don't have $6,000, $8,000 to spend on food. Yeah. I mean, sure, you could buy 99-cent noodles, but you're gonna fucking die after 3 weeks. I don't know. Like, I started thinking about, like, holy, like, you know what? Actually, a lot of people probably can't actually afford to stock up that much.
Yeah.
if the supply was even there.
And then the other thing is if they try to stop people from going to work and stuff, it's going to have to be very strategic, because if they, again, like, people don't really understand everything that goes into the food, from growing the variety of different things that go into the food, logistically distributing it and bringing it all together, and then getting it out to grocery stores and to the right places that need the most of it. Like, it's fucking super complicated. Like, our supply chain's already fucked trying to bring like different ingredients in. There's been global outages. And
I wonder how much global food supply there is right now. Like, if people stop producing, like if everything in the world shut down tomorrow, how long could everybody eat for off of what's sitting on shelves and in warehouses?
Honestly,
I'd be surprised if it was a month.
I'd take a random stab at 6 weeks.
And
Yeah.
for $14 an hour, I'm not going to stock shelves at Save-On. So, you know, like, if the coronavirus is like that, the people aren't going to go to Save-On.
No.
You might get hydro workers in. They might be near the last workers to stop working. But
Well, my buddy works for Hydro, and he was texting us today, and that's the guy who said, like, there's already 3 like people they're testing, like, cases from Hydro. He said tons of people are off already. I don't think anybody gives a fuck.
Which I think is funny, because like we were talking earlier about the cases that have been like reported, like legit, like that are more or less legitimate. But dude, I've been hearing about so many that it's way beyond the reported cases that are already in BC. Like,
it's gotta be.
I've heard about double just within our local network than the reported cases. Not to mention other people. Dude, there's fucking tens of thousands of people in BC that have it right now.
Probably. Easy. Well, on the news 2 days ago, like, I went to give Grandpa rent because I live with my grandpa, and we're
coming to you live from Grandpa's garage, our secret location, hiding from the coronavirus.
Yeah, man, we'll pack as many people in here as we have to. And on the news, it said like 53 confirmed cases in BC now or something, and I was like,
"There's no fucking way."
It's not really that many.
I think the problem is, I think it's 130 in Canada, or maybe like not that many, but it's because they do confirmed cases. They don't count the presumptive or like like you might have it, but you still have to isolate and then possibly get tested. But they're not testing everyone.
Yeah, true. Without the testing, you just don't even really know.
Like, I heard that Canada's not testing. Like, even if you went there with a fever, coughing, and said I have the coronavirus, they'll probably just okay, go home and self-isolate. They won't do the test, so then they can't confirm you have the virus, so then you don't add to the numbers. But you're still in quarantine at your house with a possible coronavirus.
I bet there's 1,000 people in BC that have it. Easy.
Yeah. And like, I mean, the thing is too, it's like, it's not like whatever. It doesn't mean 1,000 people are going to die, but like, still, it means it's moving.
Yeah, it just means that it's spreading faster than they think it is. And that, like, even the fact that they're waiting till Tuesday to release a plan is kind of like, I get they need to do their work and make sure that it's going to be...
Yeah, they better take the weekend off. Just think about it.
Yeah, it's just... I don't know, man. It's just like, don't you think that you would have moved a little bit faster than that? Because, dude, even 5 days is...
Dude, I just think, dude, people are done, man. Like, we need to run this fucking country already. It's like, there's nothing in place.
Well, we might get to. Trudeau might die.
Yeah.
Holy shit. See, I don't see any of that stuff. And like, I mean...
his wife got it.
Yeah, that's what... I mean, even all that stuff though, like, man, I'm so skeptical, like, about the news shit and stuff too. It's just like, does his fucking wife have it? Like, I don't know, maybe that motherfucker's putting on a show trying to make everybody feel bad. I don't fucking know.
Or I mean, it's just an excuse so he can get ahead of the game by self-isolating now.
Yeah. He's like, I gotta leave, sorry. I don't know. I mean, I'm just still really skeptical about it. Like, I don't think it's not a thing, but like, I'm just waiting for it to like really blow the fuck up. I'm like, okay, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Well, the John Hopkins like Medical Association did a study with, an exercise with the Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Association. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of conspiracy theorists are like freaking out about it because they did it like 2 months before COVID-19 like started hitting the streets, and their scenario was actually on a novel coronavirus pandemic.
Just explain what novel means, because I didn't know what that meant, and I don't think other people will.
It's like a book, dude.
So novel's like new. So like a coronavirus is a type of virus, like SARS and
they're all included under the name coronavirus.
Yeah, the coronavirus. And now COVID-19 is a novel coronavirus. It's new. They don't know how to do, like, they have no treatment for it. So the association did an exercise on a novel coronavirus pandemic. Their scenario, it started in Brazil. Same, basically exactly what happened in China, but their scenario was in Brazil, spread around the world. And then the end of the scenario, this is like, and this isn't just like us sitting here talking about the like end of the scenario. This is like John Hopkins and the Gates Association. They said the end of the scenario took 180 days, and the end was either a vaccine was found, or a vaccine was found and they're able to administer it and lower the death rate and bring it to an end, or 80 to 90% of the population have to be affected by the virus, and it will cause about 65 million deaths. That was from their hypothetical novel coronavirus. If you took this one and considered that 80 to 90% of the population have to be affected before...
What percentage of a death is that, 65 million? That's like almost...
Not much. That's a low death rate.
Okay, this is going to be a really fucking stupid question. I want to ask it. How many millions are in a fucking billion?
I don't even know.
Is it 100?
I think it's
a 999 million plus a million.
It's 1,000 million.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's not that bad. That'd be like 1%.
65 million is low.
Because we're almost at 10 billion. So
10,
65 is like what?
10? I thought it was like 8.5 or something.
Well, it'll be 10 like soon enough. I mean, that's the kind of shit. Well, there's a documentary I watched called 10 billion, and it basically goes over how we can't fucking feed ourselves when there's 10 billion population.
Right.
Which is literally almost here.
Not anymore. We're going down now, bro.
Are you doing the math? I'll let you do the math.
So I'll just see what their like death rate was that they were using.
Well, fuck, they already planned for it. Maybe they planted that shit.
That's what they would say, because they did their exercise in October 2019, and then it blew up December, January. But apparently the first case was in November. But still, like just after their event, is weird.
Honestly, I think it would be like, I did read one article, and a lady was talking about how it'd be like a good reset for society, which like I thought was a good like kind of read, because if something does happen, people are really going to realize like everything they've basically been working for their whole lives is kind of irrelevant now.
Right. I got a 0.75% mortality rate. So that's still 7.5 times more deadly than the flu, which people don't seem to account for. You know, the flu is more deadly.
Yeah.
But
so that's like a so that's a global 7.5%.
0.75%.
0.7.
Yeah.
That's affecting 100%. Sorry, I should have done 90% of 8.5 billion. But I did 100% of 8.5. But still, the number is...
So, like, that's super low.
Yeah.
That's lower than the death rate of this. I mean, almost. Is it?
A lot lower. This one so far is at 3.5. In first world countries and where it's affected.
So that's fucking 3 times... This is 3 times worse than that scenario that they put together. And that's from John Hopkins University.
John Hopkins medical something like that.
I don't know.
So
I've heard of it. I know what it is, but fuck. Yeah, I mean,
that was the end of their scenario. Was it either we have to come up with a vaccine, or it's gonna take 180 days, affect 80 to 90% of the population, and roughly 65 million deaths. That was just their scenario.
I mean, they're off on the timeline, so their spread rate on theirs might have been faster because it's already been. Oh no, 160 days.
180 days.
Oh, never mind.
What's that? That's 6 months.
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
And it's been, so we're halfway through. So we're just hitting the base of the J curve where it's going to really fucking...
Because like every country right now is like just hitting that point, right?
Except for China. They're like maybe halfway through it.
Yeah, unless they get hit again somewhere else, but...
Yeah.
Fuck, I even wonder about that vaccine shit too. Like even the flu vaccine. Does it even fucking work? Like...
Yeah, I don't know.
That's where it's kind of like, I don't think the vaccine is really an option.
Well, I think the flu vaccine.
I think they could find something that would.
I think the problem with the flu vaccine is sometimes they'll give it for the wrong strain, right? They're predicting the strain of the flu will be this, and then they administer. Like I remember last year or the year before, that like they admitted like we
fucked up. We gave everybody the wrong flu
strain. Like you could probably get the flu still. So
just useless.
But I think if they got it right, then yeah, it could. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, and I think it's funny because then there's a lot of argument around the health side, like, oh, like it's not even going to kill you, it has this tiny mortality rate, like it's whatever, you can get it and still live. But like I get that, and let's just set that aside. But then there's also the fact that it's still affecting a ton of shit. Obviously, like, I mean, not even really giving a shit about the massive gatherings going around, but like the European stock market apparently fell farther than it ever has in history. They just closed down the New York Stock Exchange. Like Trump just called national emergency. Everybody's getting quarantined. The supply chain around the world and the economy and everything is like completely getting shut down.
Yeah, I think that's the fucking insane part.
So like whether it's a health risk or not, which I mean it is a little bit, it's still having massive impact everywhere else.
I think like right now, like if the three of us got it, we could sit here for 2 weeks and we'd beat it and we'd go on living our lives fine. But if we went out and saw our grandparents before we knew we were sick, went and saw my dad, I know kids are less affected apparently, but still, those are the most vulnerable people in our society. Those are the ones that will die. Like if this did spread and wiped out, say 10%, like we might be considered the older people in society.
Yeah, I mean,
It might be all that's left, dude.
Like even if like you said, the fatality rate on the global population in that scenario was 0.7, my prediction after all the numbers and scenarios that I watched would be that this could potentially, if let loose, and if the things that they're trying to do, like quarantining and shutting borders down, doesn't happen fast enough or isn't as effective as they want it to be, then I think that it could probably kill 2% of the population, which is a fuckload of people.
I thought like if this did hit third world countries and actually got out of control, like all systems would shut down. So if you count just death rates from people getting COVID-19 and don't even account for the people that are unable to access medical care for their other issues because the systems are flooded.
Oh yeah,
like, there's going to be people dying that never even contracted COVID-19.
True.
So like I think, but if you just look at the mortality rate of COVID-19, once it's spread globally and then hit these third world countries, I bet you the mortality rate will probably double, 7-8%.
I think people will die from a lot more shit than that just because of it. That's going on.
Because of all the other shit that it's causing.
I mean, especially just back to the food thing. I mean, like, yeah, it'd be pretty hard to fucking die from no food. Like, I don't know how long it is. Probably like a month. You could, I don't know, at least a few weeks.
30 days is what I always remember.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be pretty fine. But I mean, I think the people that are going to be in real shits are the ones that like can't fucking drive and shit. Like us. We've got cars, we've got houses that are not in the city and other places, and we're resourceful and can do things for ourselves. But the people that live in Vancouver and don't have a fucking car and have 3 kids in their condo and have literally only ever worked at Safeway running the till or some other shitty job where they never really gained skills for anything else to take care of themselves, what the fuck do they do? And that's where the resources are going to be gone the fastest. People are going to ransack the fuck out of the city and they're gone, and you're just going to be standing there like, what can you do? Walk to the North Shore and try and eat a tree? Like, I don't really know. Like, I'm not scared for me or like us or people that I know, but it's like, we're out here. We're not a big part of the population, even in Vancouver. Like, most of the people are literally in Vancouver.
Yeah, like we're in North Van, and I'm tempted to come back here and fucking, but I don't know who to stay with because I don't really want to go to Dad's because they're old and they're not healthy. So like if I had it, then I might fucking kill Dad. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%.
So
and it's kind of weird to think about because you're kind of like, oh, like whatever, it probably wouldn't happen, but like, how do you know?
I'm actually tempted. Yeah, like exactly. And Dad's had pneumonia like 2 or 3 times in his life, so he's pretty susceptible. If it gets into his lungs and and there's no hospital help, then he might literally die.
Dude, we got to kidnap Manisha.
The only doctor we know. Yeah, like I'm I don't know. If it gets, I'm just kind of holding off, just trying to like.
I'm hoping that like next week it's like boom, we're fucking evacuating the Long Island.
No, I fucking agree. I totally hope. And like you said, like again, I just think I'm kind of just happy that we're not like the normal societal person where like we are resourceful and it would actually be a heyday for us. Like we would enjoy it and have a fuckload of fun.
Because we have somewhere to go.
Yeah, because we have somewhere to go.
Well, and the skills, it's kind of like it's like a little game. You're like, yeah, okay, let's fucking go to the bushes and find some mushrooms and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's what I've waited for my entire fucking life. It would be awesome. Like here in the States right now, it's already starting. It's going nuts. So today, I got a call from Christina. She leads our customer service team, and she's in California. She's obviously American, and she basically was just saying that she can't really work today, kind of asking for the time off because shit's just going fucking nuts down there. Like absolutely crazy. And I just saw some friends posting stuff in the States. Every shelf when you walk into a floor or into a store is completely dry and empty, like straight out of a movie. Like it's
that's the thing, man.
It's
like
actually happening in the States.
Yeah.
And she said that people are running for their guns and shit. Like it's actually getting like pretty out of control down there, and they don't really know what to do. They have to go try and find some food, and then they're just gonna buckle down in their house and I don't know. But she said it's fucking
like
people
that.
are going nuts.
I think that will happen here 100%.
I think it has to, right? If it's happening there, it's only a matter
will.
of time.
I agree.
I just
and
think that
dude,
there's more dangerous because I don't know. Americans are more just like they have guns and all that.
I think it is more dangerous too. I mean, a lot of people here don't have them. I mean, that's the other, like, we have some. Do I think I'm gonna have to use it? Probably not. But like, at least like, fuck, man. Like, I don't know, but. Yeah, like I fully think that we'll be out of food. And like the other thing we talked, like, the regular people who live downtown, blah, blah, blah. Some of them are probably betting on the government. We had talked about this before, you and I, about like, you think they're going to put out like food stations or like dry food packs or like try and give people stuff to survive?
Like, does the government have the capability to even do that?
Yeah. And I mean, imagine having to try and to rely on that. Like, oh no, they'll save us. They'll just bring us some food and shit. It's like, no, man, it's all you.
That they have food for the military, but it's expensive and that's hard to, like, there's no way you could feed an entire country.
No, I don't think so. Yeah,
I don't even know. I think it would have to be, what's that called? I just mentioned it, that there was talk about Trump doing it where.
Oh, martial law.
Like they would have, like the government would have to declare martial law, which would essentially like be totalitarianism, where they would just be able to tell people what to do. Like they would have to, and be like, okay, you guys need to keep working at this facility and producing food, and we will, distribute it. And they would have to forcefully keep those systems in place and forcefully make sure that people are there working that are from the regular population.
Because that's hard. Like, I'm trying to picture them telling me I have to go to work and make these food, and I could understand maybe I would be like, yes, that is something that needs to be done right now, and I might do it. The fact they're forcing people there, you're bound to hit resistance.
You are. But
I'd be fucking out of here.
I think also you'd probably get a shitload of volunteers because there's going to be a lot of people that would volunteer for that for sure.
Well, I've thought about it too. It's like, man, if it did go crazy, like Lucas told me a story today about a guy in Italy where like his girlfriend literally or his sister like literally died in their condo because they couldn't obviously get any help or whatever. Fucking died in there, and he was like calling people, like trying to get people to get the body. It was in there for 3 days. He was sitting in there, he like couldn't leave, and he's like calling all these people, and like then he started videoing it, like posting it on the internet, like, yo, like, I'm fucking in here living with my fucking sister who's dead, like I can't fucking deal with this shit. And like then they came and got the body about 3 days later.
So 6 days total.
No, it was 3.
Oh,
but
okay.
Still, I mean, 3 days in your fucking house with your dead sister,
tiny apartment,
is pretty fucking
shit.
crazy. And sometimes I think too, like, if I'm not really susceptible to it, like, could also go out there and help people, like, but where does the risk, like,
where's the risk?
Where's the risk? Like, I mean,
and also,
I don't have a problem going out and fucking rescuing people and driving around and trying to do whatever you can, but I mean, at what point is it worth it or not?
And also, Steven mentioned that people have got it multiple times.
Oh, I was gonna just say, if you get it once, is it gone? No,
then you can still get it. So like,
honestly, if someone just made me juices and shit every day, I'd be fucking good.
Yeah, dude, if somebody made me whole food plant-based meals with 2 juices a day, I'd be fucking invincible.
I honestly think that you would be, honestly. Like, if you drank that stuff every day, you had whatever, maybe had a bit of an immunity tincture or something like that. I don't really know, but I think like that's a lot of like good shit going into your body that I don't know.
Right now, that is your best defense, is back your immunity, like back your immune system. Like medical, they can provide care to help weather the symptoms, but it's up to your body to fight it off, right? They have nothing to help for that.
No. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I guess essentially that's why the old people and stuff too, obviously, are I mean, I think generally it's just assumed old people have the lowest immune systems too, but I think it just depends on the old person. Like, I'm sure there's old people that have fucking way better immune systems than I did when I was 22.
It's weird it's not affecting children because they all have underdeveloped immune systems.
Is that true though? Because I feel like kids are just like, for example, the way I look at
Kids haven't been fucked with yet. They got fresh ass immune system.
Exactly
They're 100%,
what I think.
man.
Because when you, the older you get, then the more you're exposed to shitty air quality, shitty water, shitty food, and all the
immune system of the
eat.
kid, I bet, would bet on the parents.
Yeah, because of what
Too,
they're
like
eating.
if your parent was eating dog shit and donuts every day, the kid's literally built off of that, right?
But yeah, like if I don't know, like I think a child would be healthier. Like even Archer's like 1 almost. Like he's still sucking titty milk. Titty milk got magic shit in it, man.
Actually does.
Yeah, dude, Hannah's always telling me about all this crazy like health benefits of titty milk.
Yeah.
And so I feel like any like infant child is probably has a way better, like they probably have like a 0.0001% chance of ever anything happening. They just suck some titty milk, they're fucking good.
Yeah,
Start selling titty milk.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, but like, who do you milk it out of? Like, there's not
Start
enough
a
titty
farm.
milk to go around.
Start a farm.
Just like a human titty milk farm.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, well, because even all that shit that happened before when they started making the formula stuff, like years back, like way back, that was fun. Like it never worked. It doesn't replace what it is. It was just a bunch of shit that I don't even remember why they started it, but basically it was
Started making baby formula.
yeah. And then people started going back. It was like the big thing, so you didn't have to wear your nipples out, and then your kids were dying. So it's like, okay, might be worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't really see it as like a replacement.
No, but they did.
They
in
did
the day,
at the time.
right? It was
I feel like now it's more of like they use it to introduce whole like food. You know what I mean?
Or some people can't produce milk, then they use.
yeah, that does happen. Yeah.
Or some people don't want to breastfeed too, like by choice, and then they use formula. Like
Yeah.
it's still used, but
It's just like a classic easy route out, like everything else. I mean, obviously, if you have to use it, you have to fucking use it. But if you don't want to be I know I'm not a girl and have to do that, but for the health benefit of my kid, I think I probably would.
Yeah, most people I talk to, like our age that are having kids and stuff, are all about titty milk.
It's kind of going back the other way now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so I think children, I don't know, personally, that's just my thought, is that their immune systems would actually probably be better. But again, depends on their family and like how they're eating and shit.
But they haven't been exposed to much. That's why they call it like underdeveloped, right? They haven't built immunity to many things, and most viruses do target kids.
Do they?
It's usually the younger and the oldest. The fact that the COVID-19 isn't affecting kids as much is actually like scientists are not confused, but it is standing out to them. It's weird.
So it's really just targeting old people right now.
Just the oldies.
Yeah, well, Lucas was freaking out about it because his dad owns 2 old folks' homes.
Yeah.
Like, dude, what the fuck happens if our old folks' home gets infested by it?
It's happening
Fuck.
to North Van.
Yeah, dude, North Van just had one.
Really?
Yeah,
now.
there's a couple, I don't know how many people in it, but
Like, I'd be locking that fucking place down.
it was like a bunch of cases in one old folks home, and like if there's already that many, then it's
They're
like,
all fucked.
they're all fucking
Yeah.
And then another old folks home has cases, and it's because apparently the old folks home, like the workers in them, they don't just work at one old folks home. They work at multiple ones.
Dude.
Because it's not like this.
Well, that's like hospitals too, anyways, right? Everyone jumps from every hospital, all that shit.
I think the cure might be coffee enemas.
I think we should start like an in-home service package where we'll run out of food and shit anyways. Never mind.
Yeah, I was
Can't
gonna
supply
say,
shit.
I tried to think about that, but
Yeah.
like again, you can't get any, you can't order anything, you can't get it.
And nobody will have any goddamn money to spend on anything anyways. That's the other thing that I talked about, like at some point money will become irrelevant, and like pretty quick, because I mean, like in Italy it already is. If you're not going to work and you don't have to pay your shit, what the fuck are you doing? You're sitting, like, how do you even pay for food? What if you want to go buy groceries? Like, what, is everything just free all of a sudden?
Yeah, I just wonder at what point.
At some point it becomes like a very weird
But then if it's
system.
free, how do you regulate? Like, okay, I'll fill up my shopping cart.
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
Military, and
But
then
they'd have to.
Yeah, you got military, and then everybody they just set packs out and just say you get this, and that's it.
Yeah, your
I think
wife
that's
and 2
where-
kids, you get this much.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where it gets to the point is like, I just really don't want to rely on that. I like literally
Yeah.
gonna go try and grow potatoes and shit by myself. I don't know, man.
You're in the backyard trying to grow potatoes.
Like, I just wonder, like, what would you do? Like, if we left here and went to a Soyuz or Rock Creek or whatever, by the time that shit all sold out, because I mean, really, like a Soyuz, a Soyuz is gonna be, you know, the stuff there is gonna be either fed from the city or shipped right across the border there. But if that shuts down, like, you'll be, you know, you'll lose stock far before you would in the city. So what would you do for food after you were out? Like, if you're out there, you're gonna have to try and figure out your own way to grow stuff or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on the timeline. I think my plan would be stock up. We'd have to do what everybody else is doing, except I think we could do it better because people are stupid and they stock up on the dumb shit.
Yeah.
And like processed crap and whatever they can find. And I think a lot of people aren't really hitting the stores. Like everyone's hitting Costco. So yeah, Costco's going to be fucking sold out. Or,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you walk
Walmart and
into
shit.
like Lee's Market where, yeah, it's a little bit more expensive and it's a little bit more organic and shit, the shelves are still fully stocked. So I think doing that and just stopping every fucking possible place you could. And also looking into like different things, man. Like people really don't think like we think. Like so nobody would think about going to a bulk supplier for something and being like, hey, get me 10,000 cans of beans. But like I would. That would be my first thought.
Yeah,
I don't
true.
know. Or like dried beans. Like, dude, you don't need to buy canned shit that's already wet. You could totally go to a raw supplier and literally just order a fuckload of like legumes
right
that
to
were dry.
fucking Pro Organics, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true. You could get quite a bit to last you for
I think
while.
you could probably last, like if our whole family had to go to a Soyuz, I think we could last for months, and then enough time that if we really, really had to, we could go to Rock Creek and get gardens going and shit.
At least it's coming into like a growth season too. Like you'd have enough to last until then, and then you could grow your own shit.
Yeah, like right now you could go to Rock or a Soyuz, and then we could go out to Rock Creek and start the garden anyways.
Yeah, start building out and getting it ready.
And then by summer, you'd literally be eating all. You'd be sustainable. I mean, we would be again. Like not every. A lot of other people would be.
But you could be going back to the old ways, man.
But we
Preserving
won't know
shit and
how
stuff for
because they'll
winter.
all be dead. So then we'll have no one to ask how to can food.
Oh well, dude, Kevin,
dude, Grandma Judy, bro.
Well, we'll have to like I don't know. I'll have to speak to her in the heavens somehow.
I'm like meditating, like Grandma.
Tell us how to can. Holy fuck. Yeah. Yeah, I used to always steal her peaches and shit. Those things were good.
They were fucking awesome. Yeah, no, well, that's one thing that I'm curious about is like, I mean, I don't expect that it would get, I do expect that we probably will get quarantined. Like everybody will probably be more or less on a little bit of lockdown. Like even the fact that they're telling people that they're going to be paying their mortgages and paying for their food and whatever they need already that's like pretty crazy. I mean, that's some hectic shit. That's never happened in our lifetime or even our parents' lifetime.
No.
So I don't know, like that's actually is kind of nuts. But
yeah.
I don't think like in the movies where people are like breaking windows and mobbing shit, like I don't think that would happen.
Well, we should do it like once, like pretend, you know.
I would
like,
love to.
Like pretend. It's like, dude.
Right at the end, right when they announce that it's all over, we'll
I'm
just
like,
run out.
fuck, really? I didn't even get to like smash windows or anything.
Dude, I keep looking at my apartment balcony, looking down at all the shops, and I'm just like, fuck, wouldn't that be sweet to just walk around there and just, I don't know, smash
Go
some
load
shit,
up on
take
shit.
whatever you want. Again, I think the best spot, because everybody's going to go for the shit that's like Walmart and all the stores, I would go straight to the nearest Amazon warehouse.
Yeah.
You get anything from food and water right up to like
I want books too.
weapons and shit.
I want some books for the downtime. I don't think Amazon sells weapons.
No, but you could weaponize.
There's like AK-47s on Amazon Prime. I'm like, what, man?
No, not
In
that.
the States,
but-
maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you know what I mean though. You could weaponize something in there if you needed to.
You
Like
can get drones.
Rolling pins.
yeah, dude, fucking and anything, all the technology that you'd ever need.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, dude, we could steal a bunch of drones and then start a delivery service.
The first-
Amazon drones.
If it started getting really bad, we'd go to Rock Creek and then Steven would have to download the fucking internet, all the information on the internet.
Download the internet.
Yeah, dude.
Because if the internet went down, we'd be fucked, man.
Yeah, true.
And then we'd set up our own internal internet network so that all of our own laptops could link up to one another and we'd still have communication internally.
Just hack mainframes and shit for like 3 months straight.
Servers and whatnot. Yeah.
Well, dude, you can all find it at Amazon, bro. All the servers you need. We'd restart the world with our own AWS.
You got the wrong guy.
We'll kidnap Edward Snowden, dude.
Yeah, no, I don't know, but I don't think that panic would come. I think it would be like
I just hope that all the like food gets like pulled off the shelves and like I can really go in there and be like, all right, this is fucking it.
Yeah,
and
that
just,
would
like,
be.
They're even saying now, like people are like they're telling people not to do what we're doing.
What?
Stocking up on food right now. Like,
Yeah,
it's
okay,
like,
I'll just die.
they're like, because people are like, oh,
Exactly,
like,
everybody else is.
everyone's like, oh, like I just want to go buy my groceries and there's nothing there because all these doomsday preppers are buying all our food.
Which is funny because it's not even doomsday preppers. It's literally like the average person is like, everyone's doing it.
And like I didn't like even today. Okay, I went and spent $300. Well, it's just because I legitimately don't have that stuff in my house. Like now, okay, I put it in my cupboard. I have 2 shelves of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. That was $300. I'm like, I need to go back and spend like $1,600. I think maybe $2,000. Like that's not very much, man. So I don't know. I mean, there's far more. I guess it just depends. Like if you're a family and you're doing that, yeah, like they're probably buying a lot of shit. As a single person, I don't know, but
Well, I wonder about my thought was restaurants. So I have a bit of a theory on this that if everybody's buying shit at the store, that restaurants would like over the next coming weeks are going to get less and less busy because for one, people don't want to be in public places, and then also they're buying their own food now and not eating out as much. So just fucking skip the dishes, everything,
or just go to the restaurant.
Yeah.
Because on one of the group things I'm in, their buddy one of the guys who helps run it lives in Seattle, and in his email, like even 4 days ago, he's like, man, it's like pretty crazy to be here, like in Seattle right now. There's like no traffic, nobody on the streets. You see people, they don't look at you.
Holy shit.
And he said that like, yeah, I'll go to a fancy restaurant that's really well known. I'm the only person in there.
That's gonna be fucking awesome, dude. We
yeah,
can
like,
go to any restaurant we want.
Yeah, literally. Like, I'm just gonna sit
if they're
there.
open.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean, and isn't that wild that they are still open? It's like, oh, we just hope somebody random comes in. Like,
yeah,
you know, it's kind of weird. And like, I don't know who's prepping it and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I was hoping that the Green Mustache would stay open because
Yeah.
that's like whole food, plant-based, juicing, all that shit. So then at the very least, they could just stay like close to the public, but open just delivery, like only prep food for delivery, so the restaurants could help get people food. You know what I mean? But just don't have like, I don't know, set it there and then don't have contact with it, and then someone picks it up and takes it or whatever. I don't know, and then leave it at the door and don't open the door and touch the person. I don't know.
Man, yeah, I don't know. I'm like pretty curious to see what happens with it all. It's like kind of right in the like you're in that breaking point of like. I mean, I think it will get worse, but how much I don't know. But it's kind of at that breaking point of like. I think a lot of people are like, oh no, it's just gonna go away. Like I don't need to buy food. But then what if it doesn't? And like for the next 3 weeks, you're like, holy shit.
Well, yeah, not even 3 weeks. Like I think that
I'm hoping it's like at least a month where we can just go away and just do whatever we want for a month.
Well, dude, it hasn't even hit its peak yet, like at all. Like
it's just hit here in reality.
Yeah, like we're exactly. So I'm curious. Like, do you think that China's hit its peak?
They say China.
Maybe not its
I haven't
peak,
seen
but it's
numbers in a while.
It started to slow the
inflection point,
started,
right?
Yeah, it started to slow down.
They said that they were monitoring that. I remember reading that like 2 weeks ago. That cases, there was like, oh, for the last 14 days or 13 days, like new cases have been less than the day before. So that is showing that they're past their inflection point.
But then they're still probably going to plateau for probably 2-3 months and then start going down.
From that inflection point, you expect twice as many, and then from there,
fuck.
And that's just Wuhan.
Yeah.
But I heard like Shanghai and stuff is getting hit now, so I don't know.
Yeah, so that's pretty crazy. So how long has China had it? China's had it since, let's say, January?
They say late December.
Okay, so 2 months. Oh, no, 3 months.
Almost 3, yeah.
Okay, so 3 months, and Wuhan is just not even at its peak yet. So here it just hit. So I would expect that in 2 months' time, it's going to be at its peak in Canada, unless they put in like super strict regulations to stop it from spreading. Also, it just generally wouldn't spread as fast as China because it's China. There's so many people.
That video said the best way, like if people are worried which a lot, but right now it's 50-50. Like when we were in the grocery store, 50 people there, like 50% had carts prepping, 50% had buggy or little carriers looking at us like we were crazy. So right now it's split 50-50.
Yeah.
But if everyone was at least worried, taking the precautions, washing hands, not touching stuff, don't touch your face, that kind of stuff, that alone would bring down the cases and would probably prevent a pandemic from happening. So like just by being worried might prevent it from escalating.
Yeah, the people just like actually just staying in and doing that shit.
But when people don't give a shit, that's just contributing, because then they don't care if they cough on their hand and touch something, because they're not in fear of spreading it or getting it, and that just increases the odds of it actually spreading.
Yeah.
I wonder how long if it stays in your body. Like if you get it and then you get over it, do you still have it? Can you still contaminate people?
Well, the people that have had, I think 2 in Ontario have now tested.
Ew, dude, what the fuck? Did you just shit your pants in the middle of the podcast?
Is that a thing?
Ew, dude. You mandatorily have to show this to people. You fucking sicko.
I can't believe
Dude, you are 100% putting that on this episode, or I'm never coming back.
We will comment on
Yeah.
it, telling everybody.
You literally shit your pants there. I know you
Fuck, man. He's been doing that in public way more. He'll literally just look at me and be like, in public, in the middle of a restaurant or something, just shit his pants as loud as he can. He thinks it's fucking hilarious, like a fucking baby.
You laugh every time. You fucking idiot. Oh my god. Yeah, I have been doing that. Holy
Just randomly, I'm going to start shitting myself in public.
I don't know why, just like 2 months ago, he just started doing it. It's just been this thing
I
ever
don't know why
since.
it's been so funny, man.
I think it's just after you started, like, when you started doing your coaching with Ed and your, like, awareness of society, this is my theory, his awareness of society spread, and then now he just doesn't care as much about what other people think, so he just
Yeah, I'm
shits
like-
his pants everywhere.
Dude, it's just like, fuck, this whole world's fucked. What, who cares if I fart right now? It doesn't even matter, man. Oh,
God. What were we talking about before you rudely interrupted us?
Steve was saying something.
People being worried.
Oh, yeah.
Then you said something. Oh, staying in your body. People, like after people have been tested positive, they obviously continue to monitor them, and then they do clear them as testing negative for the coronavirus. And
Okay.
at that point, they are now
Released.
recovered. So they do wait until it's come back as a negative result. They do not have the coronavirus anymore.
Okay. I feel like I fucking had it.
Me too.
As soon as you told me about the throat thing, because like last week I was literally feeling
I
that.
had it like 5 days ago.
Yeah, dude, me too.
Well,
Literally.
for one night, and I was like, man, I feel like getting sick, and I just was downing juice and shit, and I'm like,
Dude, same thing. I had literally the exact same thing. It was like in the back of my throat and shit, and I could feel it, and I just felt like it literally just felt like kind of like, I don't know, a fluish type thing was coming on, and then it lasted for like, I don't know, 48 hours or so, and then I downed a fuckload of juice and did a coffee enema.
yeah, I ate that.
You actually do coffee?
Yeah, dude, I do, because it just
Dude,
pulls it sucks it out of your system. So you could sit there and it could still just be in your system, sitting in your fucking liver. And the coffee enema, I swear, is a fucking cure. I did it. I'm cured. So now we know. Coffee enema.
You have to
Honestly.
teach me after this.
We can
I'm
all
just
do
over there
one.
putting a tube in Steven's ass. He's like,
We gotta
"Yeah."
make everyone do them. Like, if anyone's staying with us while we're hiding out, you have to mandatory coffee enemas every day, 8 a.m. Everybody does it.
Dad gets it. We're flipping him over mandatorily on his bed. He's like, stop it.
Like, you have to, you're gonna die, motherfucker. I like, the thing is, probably a lot of people would rather die than put coffee in their ass.
Dude, I'll put coffee in my ass all day.
Pretty good.
So that's one thing people need to stock up on is get organic meat. What is it? Medium roast?
You can't do dark?
I don't know.
A little hard on the ass.
Yeah. Organic medium roast coffee. It has to be organic.
You need a grinder. You gotta be able to make the coffee.
And then you gotta find some way to get it in your ass.
Can you do espresso?
No, dude.
Too strong?
Yeah, it'll fuck you up.
Get all fucking high and shit.
You actually do. Like, it's like, you get all like,
You get whole body coffee jitters with it. Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
yeah.
Well, I don't know. We got anything else to say?
I don't know, man.
Or Or we wait? Do we wait till it fucking really hits and we get back on here?
I don't know. I feel like I have updates like 3 times a day. Like the last couple days, like it hit so fast.
Yeah, it's actually been. Yeah, I mean, I think that's been that. Like, I hadn't really talked about it at all. I wasn't really following news. I went like shit on social media. I'm like, I'm not really gonna read this. And then even now, like, I just keep getting emails from every single thing that's like saying it. I'm like, holy shit. And then the news and people. And then yesterday when I was going around, like, I hadn't really heard a lot about it in public either. Like, people weren't really saying much. And now, like, yesterday, everywhere I was, anybody around you, all they were talking about was that. And I was like, okay, this is fucking wild. Like, this is some shit you definitely, like, you know, it's kind of like part in the movie when everyone's like figuring out it's happening, and then you're like, oh shit,
like it's here,
it's fucking here.
Yeah,
so,
like even talking to Connor and stuff, like 5 days ago, I think, or a week ago was the first time I mentioned it to him, because Dad got me on it, because Dad's been watching all the news.
As a grandpa did to me,
I was walking around, I didn't never even thought about it, and then all of a sudden Dwayne's saying all this stuff about how it's affecting Europe and stuff, because Connor's wedding's coming up, and then Connor had no idea, same as us, like not watching the news at all, and then all of a sudden now we're like getting tips that it's going to be like a fucking basically a quarantine and getting 3 months supply of food and shit. Yeah, it's pretty, I don't know, pretty hectic. I feel like if I was the government, I would be super strict on it and super fast and just be like, done. Like, why risk it?
I feel like that's what Italy did. Like they started to get bad and then just shut everything down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like next week will be a lot of big shit.
Yeah, I think they're going to make some big announcements. Be pretty fun. I don't really know what to do. Like, what do you do?
I think we should just like...
Should we actually go somewhere?
I think we should go to... So you should bring all this stuff and we can just like...
That's what Steve
We were
was
saying that before you came in, yeah.
Yeah, we'll just fucking we'll just do like crazy fucking coronavirus episodes every day. We'll do like updates and shit. People will be following the fuck out of us for the Rona shit.
Dude, and then what we were thinking is we could take all of our pouring equipment and shit from down here and take it up there, because we can ship across the border right beside a Soyuz there.
Yeah.
And just make hand sanitizer.
Yeah, we'll
Fucking
just sit up here and talk about all day. I'll be like, yo, fucking get your orders in. We just got 100 more ready. Literally right now, you can see them. I'm like turning the camera. I'm like, let's go, get them in. I'll just be live 24 hours a day. Tune in for your hand sanitizer. You're like, oh, they got 10, order it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I haven't been prepping for it at all. We, like, Emma's bought a little bit of food, but like,
I don't have nearly
I haven't
enough.
bought anything. Dude, you should see his stack. He's got a half a bedroom full of food.
Are you fucking me, dude? What?
Yeah, man.
Well, I was joking yesterday, Jamie. I'm spending $3,000 today, and I'm gonna build a couch out of cans, and I'm just gonna fucking chill on it. And like when I went and spent $300 this morning, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get a lot of shit, you know, like I'm gonna have a lot of stuff. And I got home, there's 5 bags. I was like, holy fuck, I could get like 10 times this. That's nearly nothing.
Yeah.
How much have you spent on your collection?
Not much. We buy. I went to Fruticana. They have a shitload
The
of
fuck
like
is Fruticana?
it's Indian like fucking save on basically.
Where?
Mom
In
shops
Abbotsford.
there.
Yeah, I think they're like in Surrey, Abbotsford.
And it's like just really cheap.
And cheap, and they have like huge, like big dry sacks of like rice, like 20-pound bags of rice for cheap, like huge bags of lentils. So I bought a lot of like big quantity dry food for cheap.
Oh, that's a good idea, actually.
I spent $70 in Fruticana. I walked out with like 25 pounds of rice, 25 pounds of lentils, like literally like $70, and I walked out with so much stuff.
Dude, well
See, that's what I mean, is like the places like that people aren't thinking. Everyone's going to fucking Costco and not going to Fruticana and getting the bulk.
even
dry
Costco,
beans.
it's like, oh yeah, you got 2 bucks of 5-minute rice.
Yeah.
Like, sick. Yeah. Well, why don't you become shopping with me? Because like I get really weird in there by myself. I'm just like loading up my cart and shit. I'm like,
Emma keeps trying to tell me to buy toilet paper, and I'm like, fuck. I like, we actually just need toilet paper. Like,
I know, I
it's
don't
like,
have any.
like, where I'm not trying to stock up, but I just would feel weird going and buying toilet
You
paper.
get dirty
right now.
looks now. Like my buddy bought toilet paper yesterday, and people are like, "Oh, he's one of those guys."
Yeah.
Like, no, dude, like I just want to clean my hole.
I think it's nice because like West Van, I don't think they really give
Luke
a
just
shit.
said Safeway had it this morning at like Langley and shit. So.
Yeah.
I heard in the mornings because they stock up, and then in the morning you can get it. But
Oh, really? They just hold off.
yeah,
Oh.
Well, I started seeing signs everywhere. Like I was just at Shoppers Drug Mart, and they restrict how much you can buy
Oh yeah,
for
that's
every
fair.
for every person, for sure. Yeah, but then I'm just thinking like, then everyone's just gonna go to the next store and do the same fucking thing.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But then I don't know, kind of deterring. Like, I just don't understand why you need it that bad. What the fuck is the point?
You don't even shit yourself with coronavirus usually.
It mutates and we're all just shitting everywhere.
At that point, I would just sit in the fucking bathtub and shit and shower at the same time the whole time, man. It'd be like, fuck. I don't know. Well, we need to go do some more shopping and get some bulk. But you got Dad's truck. We should take that and just load the back.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know what to do. I'm kind of just like, I feel like everybody's just playing it by ear. I don't know if I should like look at the Chinese growth rate, like how it grew in China, and be like, kind of measure based off that and be like, hey, in 3 weeks it's going to be this bad and it's going to be that bad.
I just wouldn't mind getting a little bit more because, like, whatever. If I spent fucking another, if I spent $1,000 on food to have quite a bit and like be ready, I don't really care because eventually you can use that or eat it as well after.
Mm-hmm.
But like, spending $10,000 to be like fully set up is kind of out of control. Maybe not. I don't know. But I also would suck to be like, oh yeah, we'll just kind of whatever, and then like all of a sudden it hits and you're trying to like rush to the grocery store. I mean, that might be the fun part though.
Yeah,
everybody's going,
yeah.
Get out of the fucking way, bro.
Yeah, it would actually get hectic. That's what I'm curious.
Like, yeah.
Like, if it would get out of hand to the point where police and shit would have to get involved, and then at that point, would
they'd be just trying to get
enough?
fucking food too, man.
Yeah, true. I guess. I don't know. I think my one question in the back of my head as I'm like waiting as the weeks go by to see how it gets worse and worse is there a point that we legitimately leave the city and go somewhere else, like into the fucking mountains or interior?
I think I would when they if they like announce that you should like stock up and get food and shit. I mean,
would you legitimately like where you'd go to a source?
I don't know. It might just be safer and more fun. I don't know. Maybe it's more fun to stay down here and venture into the city and be like, yo, I'll just take my fucking motorcycle into the city and just cruising, like stealing shit and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know because again, like we're young, so it's kind of like, I mean, I guess the worst thing that could happen being young is that you could get it multiple times and it would slowly like take an effect on you.
I don't know how.
I feel like you'd be hard. I mean, if you were going out and really trying to like work with people and help them, I could see that being an issue. But if you weren't, I
feel like I'd probably stay local and just have volunteer.
Yeah, you think so?
I think so because like, what the fuck else? Like, I'm not scared of dying from it.
No. Yeah.
And I feel like
that's kind of like what I said before. I was like, send the oldies up to a Soyuz and we'll just stay down here and bring supplies once in a while.
Yeah, like honestly, like in my opinion, Dwayne and Sandra should be going.
Yeah.
To a Soyuz and Grandpa and shit too. I mean, Grandpa's, I guess he should stop going to North Van.
Yeah, he's just cruising down there today. I heard him open the door and I was on the phone with someone. I'm like, holy fuck, my grandpa just went outside. I gotta tell him to go inside again. Like, Grandpa, get the fuck inside, bro. He's got his dress coat on. He's going like to the North Van. I'm like, holy fuck, you're crazy, bro.
And they go out dancing and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you'd be hard pressed to like he'll just be like, I don't fucking care.
He'd probably just he'd fucking.
I'm gonna die. I'm 82.
He's so fucking stubborn. He would just not die from it anyway. He'd pick a bunch more oranges out of your goddamn compost and eat them, and he'd be healthy.
Well, I looked in the garbage can today because they're empty, and I put a couple things in the compost. I opened the garbage one, and it's all his candy wrappers. There's like Reese's Pieces and all this shit. And I was gonna send him a photo and be like, bro, you gotta stop eating this shit. Yeah, you guys crazy. One day he's stealing oranges out of the compost. The next day he's fucking putting his Reese's Pieces in there.
Shelby throws his food in the compost because it was like moldy, and then Grandpa goes in there and picks it out and eats it.
What the fuck? Dude, I bought 6 oranges and I just never use them. Like, I'm really fucking bad for buying food and not eating it. They're in my fridge and I like go to eat one day and I grab this orange. The whole back half is green. I'm like, okay, this thing's fucked. So I just figured I bought all these oranges at the same time. They've been in my fridge for almost a month. I'm going to throw them in the fucking bin. So I throw them all in there. And the next day, I'm like out here. And Ben comes out and he's like, who put the oranges in the compost? Well, I did. He's like, why? Like, what do you mean why? They were bad. He's like, I took 2 out of there yesterday. They were fine. I'm like, you ate them? He's like, yeah, they were fine. Cut them up. Ate them. I'm like, dude, get the fuck out of the compost bin, man. Like, why are you searching through there? Like, guy's crazy. Now he always searches it. Like, he just like looks.
He's just getting Shelby's leftovers.
Honestly, he's always like looking there, like seeing what I'm putting in the garbage and shit. I'm like, man, fuck. He like found some of my tax forms in the garbage, and like I owed $3,000 or something for taxes. And he comes in, he's like all serious, like, gotta talk to you about something. I'm like, what? And I was like kind of like weirded out. Like I was kind of like got my back up a bit. I'm like, what the fuck do you want to talk to me about, man? I'm like, fuck. And he's just like, I found this in the garbage. And I'm like, what the fuck is he gonna even say? Like, you know, when you're just like really want them to just fucking say it, like stop, you know, it's like could have just came in and said, hey, I found this in the garbage, you owe $3,000. He's like just beating around the bush. He's like, yeah, like can you pay that? I'm like, yes, I can. He's like, whoa, why don't you pay it? I'm like, okay, honestly, man, like I don't fucking know. I got it. I saw it was $3,000. I just thought, I don't fucking give a fuck. I'm not paying it. That's literally it. There's no real reason. It's actually pretty stupid now that you put it like that. Why didn't I just pay? I don't fucking know. I honestly just didn't feel like paying it. That's literally it. And he's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, like I just kind of wanted to, you know, I just wanted to make sure. I'll shred it for you though. I'm like, okay, thank you. Just like so weird. I'm like, man, guy's just like pilgriming through my garbage. Yeah.
Pilgriming.
Yeah, man. Like I haven't caught him in there yet, but if I catch him in the fucking garbage, he's done. Like, man, I'm gonna start putting locks on the fucking things.
That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna have to start eating moldy oranges now.
Like, yeah, I know.
You're
Now
not gonna see fresh veggies for like 6 months.
that will actually be sad. Like I don't know. I'll start although I kind of like I did buy some mini eggs and some chocolate and shit too, like just in case. Like, you know, treat yourself a
You
little
go
bit.
loot greenhouses. No one will think of that.
Yeah, dude. See, another great idea.
Like fully steal a greenhouse, like mid crop.
And then if it really comes down to it, I mean, I guess we just start robbing people at gunpoint.
Bro.
Just going on full on fucking military missions.
What do you say, Steve?
Getting excited.
Yeah, dude, that'd be fucking awesome though.
No, dude, it won't even hit anything close.
I know, but
Don't
that would
say
be
that.
fucking sweet.
Would be cool though.
Fuck, that would be wild.
No, this is like I don't know, probably one of the most boring emergency situations because everyone will just like die of some disease and we'll just sit here.
Yeah, like if it was alien invasion or
Something
something, it'd be
cool.
fucking way cooler.
Yeah.
Maybe the aliens actually brought it and then they're going to come down and do some more destruction in a little bit here. That'd be
Yeah,
sick.
honestly, I think best case scenario, we all just get like a month off work or something,
I
and
hope
then
so.
we just get to chill out. I'm gonna stock up on weed. That's that's the only thing I thought of.
You're
I
a fucking
I called
pothead.
Emma and I'm just like, dude, I think weed and coffee enema literally cured me from coronavirus.
We.
I don't believe the weed part. Although that just makes me feel shitty every time I smoke weed. I'm like, my fucking throat and shit is just gross.
Yeah, I feel like I would get corona from weed.
Yeah. Me
No,
too.
dude, I buy the sealed shit from the dispensary.
Dude, that's just really good for you.
Yeah, it is. It's way everybody knows it's way healthier.
Oh no, I don't know. What did you say? Weed and
Coffee enemas.
I remember what the fuck I wanted. I don't know. I'm definitely gonna buy more candy shit. Oh no, what I really wanted was tortellini. I was in there and I just saw these tortellini packs, but I also felt weird too because I was going through the grocery store. Like, I don't normally look at how long things last, right? I'm just like,
And now you're looking at expiration dates.
yeah. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna get some of this tortellini. Lasts forever, and I pick it up. I'm like, oh, it's literally bad in 3 weeks. What the fuck?
Is it like tortellini, like dry pasta tortellini?
No, it was the ones that are kind of like in the refrigerated packs. You know, they're like the 3 cheese ones that you rip the top off because it's like stuff inside. So they were only good till like March 28th or something. I was like, yeah, that's not gonna do. Put
Like
them
a
back.
week.
Yeah, they looked.
Actually, you
good,
could freeze them.
True. I just didn't like the freezer idea because what if, like, worst case scenario, you had no power or
I
something?
really don't think like there's no.
I just
way
hope
the
it does. You
power
were
should
going
go
around
out.
with flashlights
Dude,
and
if the
shit.
power went out, that would actually start causing like a real panic and shit.
I don't know, like, yeah,
We'd all go to Dwayne's house and then we just have to make sure
steal fuel and shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the fuel price dropped.
Yeah, Deed
It's
said
like a
that
lot.
he said
like gas is like $1.10 and
diesel's $1 in past.
yeah, okay, $1, which is that's
Why,
pretty
though?
crazy.
I honestly don't
I think
really
it's just
understand how that
I
works.
don't know why would that happen in the economy.
I'm not sure. I remember hearing it was affecting oil prices, but I'm not sure why. I guess everything's going down, but then, you know, I just remember hearing the oil prices dropped significantly.
Yeah, Dwayne wanted me to go to the res. He figures it's probably like 60 cents a liter.
Yeah, I mean, even that, it's just like, yeah, I don't know. That's. I was gonna text him, so you better fill your goddamn toddy tank up.
Yeah, that's exactly because he can use it for the generator or whatever if he needed to.
Well, the generator, or did he buy a new one that's diesel?
Oh yeah,
I know.
maybe it's
Either way, I
gas.
keep forgetting, dude. He's got like Bobcat and shit. Like we'll build that into war machines and stuff too.
Worms.
Yeah, man. That's what I keep saying to Deeds. I'm like, bro, we're gonna start building more machines.
I think the exciting thing is that this is even just like happening in our lifetime.
Yeah.
And I do think that like, I don't know. Okay, like I don't think this one's gonna be like anything crazy.
But there will be another one.
But yeah, like like there's been one every year, and specific viruses like this, and if they keep getting worse and worse and worse, I don't know if they would, or maybe just it's random, but eventually you'd think that a random one will come and be stronger and actually have like pretty fucking major impact.
Well, this one we're pretty like chill about because we're not in the demographics that are affected.
True, I guess if we were in Italy, we'd probably be like, what the fuck?
Or like imagine if this virus targeted only people from age 20 to 35. Then we probably would be shitting our pants.
Oh, I'd be in
Fuck
Rock
no,
Creek.
I'd be out of here by
fucking in
now.
the trees right now.
Yeah.
So like the next virus like might not just be, it might be higher mortality rate or something.
Because it targets everybody instead of
Yeah.
just oldies.
Like that Spanish swine flu, right? 513 million deaths.
Yeah, that's
That's-
actually.
Great. And that's in 1914. So like,
And, I mean, yeah, I guess that's really not that far back.
and the population was a lot smaller. So 514 million people is a lot bigger back then than now.
And now with just transportation and the way how fast everything moves, it would spread at a rate that would be.
Well, we've only been
significant.
living this like crazy comfortable lifestyle for less than 100 years.
Yeah, true.
Not really like, I don't know.
Yeah, thinking about it in that is like basically what that does is it kind of puts me in the mindset that like, okay,
Like this isn't a forever thing.
I always go back and forth on the Rock Creek idea. So like essentially Steven and I bought land in Rock Creek, which is like a very what would you call it? Like it's out there. It's
Isolated.
like isolated area, and the plan was to essentially have a fully sustainable community that we could go to basically in an event like this, but also because we just want to live in the woods. But yeah, like now, like I kind of have always gone back and forth. Like, okay, like we need to have a spot like that in our lifetime for our families in case something like this happens. And then I start thinking like, oh, maybe I'm fucking nuts. But then now it's like I'm looking, at this and this happening, and if it just happens, I don't know, maybe it happens another time in our lifetime, but it's fucking worse.
Yeah.
And then it's like I'm not really that crazy because that's actually going to be a necessity for your fucking health.
Or next time it happens, we are Dwayne's age. We're
We're
that age.
we're the ones that are gonna have a fucking 20% chance of dying.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's a bad thing to do.
Yeah.
I just like right now, like I wouldn't like kill ourselves trying to prep for just this. Like if I wouldn't go max my credit cards out buying
No.
food,
Yeah,
and
no.
weapons and shit. Like
Which is crazy because like the States, like hearing Christina talk about it today, I'm just like, that sounds nuts.
It'll be here for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess do you think the States is farther ahead than us?
they have like their cases are in the I think it's 1,500 cases or something they have.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so we're like tiny compared to them. Like it just kind of hit us like yesterday pretty much.
Fuck. You should just
But
go to like Antarctica or
I
some
keep
shit.
hearing Canada's not testing for it. That's why our numbers are small. I keep hearing that.
Someone told me the opposite. That they were saying the U.S. isn't testing and Canada is. That's why we're so under control.
Really?
But I don't
Well,
know.
we appear to
I
be
mean-
under control because our case numbers are small
Until next week.
until they
Yeah,
actually start
exactly.
testing people. But
Yeah, I don't know. It's all up in the air. We'll have to touch base again next week and see what the fuck's going on.
Yeah,
man.
dude.
We'll do
we
the
might be
update.
doing this remotely from our houses.
Yeah, we'll start doing Zoom calls.
Yeah, actually.
Well, the only thing too, like with this, I was like, man, like okay, we record this right now, and then like if I, like I literally have to edit this tomorrow and put it up. Like I'm gonna do a pretty rough job because I don't fucking care. It's relevant, but like even tomorrow, like what we're saying now could be somewhat relevant.
Yeah, I'm suggesting people don't go out crazy. And tomorrow everyone's like,
Yeah.
the world's changed.
Yeah, it's fucking over, bro. It's over. It's the last podcast I ever post.
You're like, okay, over and out.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be funny to like, yeah.
That would be fucking awesome, though. I've always wanted something like this to happen.
This one's a little sketchy because you can't fight it, but it's all right.
Yeah, you just
I'll
fight it by
take it.
you fight it just by like not being.
Yeah.
And just whole food, plant-based diets.
Hey,
Just being
Yeah.
super careful.
seeing so many like, what would you call them? Like, I don't know, but like we've seen now an entire country shut down and being quarantined. I don't think that's, at least I don't know when that's happened last. An entire country quarantining itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually like pretty.
It is hectic. I
nuts.
mean, although it's kind of casual, it's still like, holy fuck, that's a thing. Like,
Yeah.
you never really think that would happen.
Another one that like sounds ridiculous, but Disneyland in California
Mm-hmm.
has closed down. It only happened 3 other times before this. I can only remember 2. One was 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
One was the day after JF Kennedy was assassinated.
Mm-hmm.
This one, and another one that's obviously on the same scale as the
Yeah.
first 3. So it just shows like that's pretty crazy.
No, it is. Yeah, and like 9/11 was a huge fucking thing, right? I don't know. It's pretty wild. Like, yeah, it's easy to blow it off and laugh about it too, but then when you really sit down and think about it for a second, you're like, it is crazy.
And people in high places are taking it pretty seriously. It's just a good indicator that we shouldn't be brushing it off. But.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing is you never really know what the fuck the real information is.
Well, that was the other thing. I read a post on that today, and it's like people have been not so led to believe, but like through the media now, like everybody knows that so much shit is fake, right? Like that's just like a lot of people are like, oh man, like it's just fucking media, it's crap. Like it's starting to be a normal thing that people aren't following, or like, you know, for me, how I don't really trust doctors that much. Like I don't really believe in a lot of the ways that you know, they go about doing things, and I don't really believe like that's the way the body works, the way they target certain things or how they treat stuff, right? It's like your whole body, it's not just that one thing. Not that I don't think it can help. There's a lot of things obviously that are super useful, like keeping you alive when you have things like heart attacks or strokes, or like initial things they can do,
Or like physical surgeries.
yeah,
and things like
surgeries, procedures, and things like that. But now fuck, I don't remember what the hell I was talking about.
We're just talking about
Treatments, I think, like treating.
we're talking about like how people like watching the news.
Oh yes, yeah. So now, like, yeah. So for me, it's like I'm looking and like we always joke like saying "fuck the news," but now it's kind of like I'm kind of like halfway back on board now, like on the line of like, okay, maybe it is like something. I don't know, but I think there's so many people out there that are just blowing it off like it's just fucking on the news. It'll be over with. Be tomorrow, because that's how things are in there, right? If they can blow it the fuck up for a week and then, oh yeah, forget about it, and it's the next thing. So I think people are like waiting for that to happen, in a sense.
Like, yeah, you need to find your happy medium with this. Like so many times, like people freak out. Remember the Amazon rainforest? I was burning
Yeah.
for a week.
I totally
cared
forgot
it.
about that.
Everyone forgot about it.
And then
It's
the
probably still
Australian
burning.
fires. Yeah, it's probably still burning. Yeah. True.
Yeah, it's super true.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is a little bit different than those scenarios, but it just does go to show like how powerful the press and like news and shit is. But again, like also just remembering you never really know shit because they might not know shit, and all the numbers that people are feeding us might also be shit. I don't know. Maybe it is worse than they think, or maybe it's fucking way more easygoing than they think. Who really fucking knows? Because then they would have all sorts of incentives to not get the population to panic as well by releasing and keeping numbers lower. Like instead of running real projections based on people who might actually be infected and dying because of it and shit, maybe they're just, you know, like not testing as many people, so they're not releasing numbers that are going to scare and panic.
Yeah, like I don't think that would be, like we talked about before, the 3-month food thing. Like, would they release that if like telling people to do that? Probably not. I don't think they would.
I don't think they would.
They'd have to do it like very strategically. It wouldn't be, hey, you guys need to get.
It's
3
just on
months
the
of
it's
food.
on the 6 o'clock news tonight or 5, whatever the fucking time they talked on the news. But like it's like, yeah, okay, everybody get 3 months of food. Bye. Just shut off the news. You're like, holy shit, it's going down. Like I don't know. At this point, I wouldn't even be surprised if they said some dumbass shit like that on the news tonight. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I might watch it tonight.
Well, Tuesday's supposed to be the day we get some cool news. So
Tuesday.
Yeah.
I don't know. Enjoy one last weekend and then.
I would just slowly start stocking up on shit.
And I'm just gonna go each day.
I really just don't give a fuck because like I don't think they're gonna militarize. Like I don't think they're gonna forcefully quarantine people. Still like. Dude, and there's like the supply chain for everything and food and shit is gonna be slow. Like it's gonna be like slim pickings, but you'll still be able to go get food. So like. I'm not fucking worried about it.
You just might be stuck to Mr. Noodles, whereas now you get prime fucking choice, bro. I got Wolfgang Puck organic soup in a can.
I don't know what that means.
It's a fancy restaurant. It's supposed to be a fancy ass restaurant in like I think there's one in Vegas
You
or
eat
something.
really high quality food for 2 weeks and then die, or because you ran out of food.
No.
Or you...
No, I'm gonna have full supply of quality shit. You're eating like dog shit, no name superstore fucking green beans or
No,
some
I would
shit.
just go find the fucking good food. But I was just gonna say something, but I'm like, fuck, can I even say that? That time at Thunderbird when I fucking went in there and broke into the restaurant and started eating their food and shit.
Oh,
dude,
like-
that's what I'll do.
Yeah, true.
I'm a pro at getting myself
going
into
to-
weird fucking scenarios.
I'm going to fucking Fortitude and locking that place down. I'm just cooking my own shit on the line all day, man. Like, and Wendell's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll update next week.
Yeah, we'll do an update on Tuesday with the new crazy shit.
And everybody's homework is to go home and watch Contagion.
Oh, I haven't even watched that.
You should watch it.
You
tonight.
know what I want to watch actually is that Book of Eli movie. Do you remember it?
Yeah.
Good one, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that tonight. Guess
Okay, me too. I'm putting that on my list.
we could watch it together, like, but not actually together.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be sweet.
We'll just FaceTime.
I might invite someone over tonight, see if they want to hang out. Should not.
No.
No. Fuck.
Book of Eli.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that tonight.
Sweet.
Okay, well, we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, go edit this and put your farting ass on here.
Dude, I'm not doing
you
that.
are.
I'm deleting you right
No.
off the end right
No.
now. She can't believe I fucking
Dude, you're
did
fucking
that.
putting that on there.
I can't.
You are. You 100% are putting that on
Should
there.
I?
Yeah, you fucking sicko. You have to.
I can't believe I did that.
You even leaned over for it.
Yeah, dude, the video.
I like just wasn't even thinking. I felt it coming. I just like totally blanked, forgot I was even on here.
Oh, God.
Okay, good night.